Hello, welcome. We figured end of the year. We played a lot of board games and not as much as we wanted to, sadly, but there was quite a bit we played, and we figured we might as well do our. I think we had enough for at least the top 50, but it's close to New Year's. We want to get this quick, so we figured just jump straight to our top 10 favorite board games that we played throughout 2021, and that doesn't mean the games are new for 2021. They can be. But it's just games in general we play. They could be vintage games. They could be more of the modern stuff. You name it. We're just going to choose. And we decided to stick with just board games. Even though I feel like card games kind of could work. Or, and then like no TCG because, we like Yu-Gi-Oh! And like the Pokemon TCG and all that stuff there. And stuff like that, So we're just going to go with that. And we're just going to go back and forth with our 10 through 1. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you play any of these, any we should check out, and let's begin. If you want, start with your number 10.
My number 10 is Manhunt. It's a classic vintage game. What I like about it is a nice mystery game. It's one of those games where you have to discover who did it, how they did it.
Like Clue?
Yeah, only better.
Well, yeah, because the mechanism...
Well, yeah.
It's really nice. A little wind-up thing. And we got from Don's Game Closet. Don is an awesome guy. Really good guy. And we got it from him, and the little motorized thing didn't work. And he's like, what? I always test these things. So something might have happened upon something like that, but he hasn't, for a while. So he's like, we thought maybe it was the batteries we're using or whatnot. And then he went and met up with us again, got the batteries to work, and it worked, and it was fun. And especially, people who played it when they're younger, like my dad, it was a real treat for him. So, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I like the little spin device thing. It's kind of the cool gimmick of it.
Well, yeah. So it's not exactly like Clue, but it is kind of the same concept where you have to go around and discover what happened and who did it. It's a nice, simple game, but yet it's fun, and I think it still holds up to this day.
My number 10 is It from the Pit. It's right up there. I'm looking right at it. He's looking right down at me with his orange eyes. Got it after all these years for my birthday. It was a pretty pricey gift. It works. It's motorized. Played it, tested out first with the family. And stuff like that. And it was a little too hectic for them, but it's basically what it is. You just go around the board, roll, and try to get to the treasure and not get swiped up all your pieces. And that can get pretty hectic because it's a lot of roll, pass the next player. But it's pretty fun, and we only played it like that one night a couple of times, so that's why it's pretty low, because I still need to get a better feel for it, but a good classic game from childhood, and it was just a fun game, It from the Pit. Remember that?
Oh, of course.
Oh, that was pretty fun. What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. Okay, my number 9 is Bumper Cars. It's another vintage game.
Bumper Cars, nice.
I liked it so much, I actually bought 2.
Well, because it was cheap when we found it at an antique place, and then we found it like months later at a thrift place. So it's like 2 of them for the price, for like less, like what? Like less than half, more than less than half or whatever, than the price it is for like one of them you can find on like eBay and stuff. So it was nice.
It's a nice, simple game. It's basically where you take your cars from one side of the board and bring it to the other and park them. But the bumper car comes in when you run into other cars and send them all the way back to where they first started.
It's over there. We can, see that too.
It's a simple game which anyone can pick up and learn.
People seem to really enjoy it. Like my family, especially. Like my dad liked it. Even my mom got into it. My uncle, my sister. I mean, people seem to just like. It's a fun game. So that's a good number 9. My number 9. We just played it this year. Finally tried it. Been wanting to. And we got the new version of it, the American Monster one. But I'm going with the original Horrified because we didn't play the American Monster one. But number 9 for me is Horrified. We played only a couple times, but I like the cooperative games lately, and especially if there's a chance where you can win it. I'm looking at you, Pandemic, or Close to, and I'm looking at you, The Captain's Dead or whatever. Good games though, very good games. But this one here, holy cow! I love the Universal Monsters. I'm a big, we're both horror film buffs and film buffs. We do filmmaking and stuff like that. We did that in college. But anyway, the Universal Monsters, plus then, the new one there with the Bigfoot and also out there, that's pretty cool. I love the cryptid stuff.
Yeah, I look forward to getting that one.
But it was fun, and, you go around, you gotta stop the monsters. Like, it'll be set up with Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Mrs. Frankenstein, the bride, together. You gotta, certain ways, like, you gotta keep them separated so they don't get together or whatnot. You gotta keep Dracula from doing this. You gotta destroy his coffins. The creature, you gotta get him. And then there's all these things you gotta do, collect things, kind of work together. Villagers. And it's really tough when you add in more characters, because when we threw in the Mummy, like, we played again, like, right after we first played it, and we're like, let's do these monsters instead of just the basic one to start with, and then it's like, we barely made it with that stupid Mummy, like...
Yeah, like one...
Like, we got the Wolfman out, like, it was like, the Wolfman, gone. Then eventually, the creature, gone. And then, like, the rest of the game was like, we can't kill this guy! So it's challenging. But it's fun. Horrified. I can see why people like it so much. Alright, number 8, good sir.
My number 8 is another game that anyone could pick up and learn. It's Tilt and Tumble.
Tilt and Tumble, right up there. You can't see it, but it's up there. I thought it was right here. But go on.
What I like about it is, I said, anyone could play it. I'm pretty sure there's a max number of players that it says in the box, but there really isn't, or really
you can
shouldn't
have, like,
be.
30 people if you wanted somehow.
And I actually almost find it more fun the more people you have.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you get less turns, it's always fun to see people just kind of like tilt it.
And there are some people that really enjoy seeing that thing tumble. And it's like, they don't care. They just want to see it fall.
And some people are just so careless. It's like, oh, we just know that one of these turns, they're going to get it.
But yeah, love Tilt and Tumble. Definitely good. Number 8 for me, Amazonas. We played that earlier on, and we seem to always play it ever since we got it, like, every year. It seems to, like, go to, like, get together with my family, and, like, my uncle visits. It's always a good one to play with him. He enjoys it. It's just a simple game. You got stuff there, and you got to collect stuff, like, you're, like, in this little, like, the Amazon areas, and you got to, like, connect from, like, one place to another. And then there's, like, water, and then you flip stuff over, and it's like, you can't build on water this turn, you can't build on land this turn. Oh, there's a monkey. He's stealing your stuff. There's fire. And then you build from place, and the more you get, you'll start collecting, like, butterflies, fish, and stuff like that. And it's just a simple thing there. You just you save up your money, get your resources to plant another little hut somewhere, and then you want to make sure you get your one thing connected, but then you get more points for each thing you add on to. It's just another one of those nice games like that, and something that's like, oh, you got nothing else to do, and then it's like, we all like this one, let's play this one. Amazonas, good board game.
Definitely is. I enjoy it quite a lot.
Number 7, sir?
Forbidden Bridge. Yeah.
Wow.
You can put
right up there, right underneath it from the pit.
As you can tell, I like a lot of vintage games.
Oh, they're great.
Personally, I kind of prefer the newer version, but they're both really good. And the reason I kind of prefer the newer version, not by aesthetics, because I think the older one looks cooler, but it's because I feel like the bridge is more shakier.
Although I do like the more colorful gems instead of just the red gems.
Oh, that makes
so
sense.
that part right there I like more. Because it's like a nice rainbow of pretty colors for those gems that are just the same red.
I just miss the border.
But
and
everything else, I'm like, yeah.
design.
Even though I am getting used to that gray. It's a nice slick gray. But go on.
Yeah, it's just a fun game where you just move from the river up the bridge, grab the gems, and get back on your boat.
Up the river and through the bridge to grandmother's house we go.
And then you just try to get out of there. But the only problem is the bridge itself. It shakes, and then it could make you drop your gems. Or if you're lucky, if you're already down at the river's edge, someone will drop a gem and you just grab it and throw it in your boat. I remember the first few times we played it, it was kind of sad for some of the players because they were like, I'm in the lead. And then it's are you really?
Yeah, it can be like, sometimes you don't want to be the first one to get to the guy, the temple god, and get the gem, because then, of course, you get knocked off. And someone down below who hasn't even gotten up yet can be like, cool, I grabbed your gem. I'm near my boat. And it's like...
Now, another thing interesting about the newer one is that I feel like there's less space right next to the guy's head. And when someone pushes down the head, if it's just more than just you on that section, you're most likely going to fall off. And even if it is just you on the section, it can still shake you off, unlike the original.
Forbidden Bridge. Good game. Both versions. We were like the first people to like talk about that because we were just at Target one day, and then he's like, "Hey, look at this," and I'm like, I'm sitting there looking at a freaking light bright thing that's like a little mini light bright. I'm like, "Oh, look at this. This is neat." He's like, "Hey, look at this." I'm like, "Screw the light bright. Holy crap, they remade Forbidden Bridge."
Which is kind of funny. We just
Oh
got
my
the
gosh.
original.
And then we're like, we got to do a video on this fast. And we were like the first to do it, and it was pretty cool. My number, we're on number 7, right? My number 7, hey, that's my fish. It's simple. You have penguins, you have little tiles that have fish on there, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, stuff like that. And then you just put your penguins, how many players you got, and then you land on them, and then you move them. And then where they land onto the next fight, you can go all the way as far as you want one way with your penguin. And then you take whatever the penguin was on, you take that one. So if it was a 1 fish, you get 1 point. And then if you move it on to, like, say, a 3-pointer, the next time you move it, you get to collect that 3-pointer. And then at the end, you collect how many fish you got. And it's really fun in the fact that I like that it makes me think of, like, Battle Sheep and stuff like that, where you can cut people off. Because when you're doing that, you're cutting the land. So if someone's over here and you cut this, they can't go across more. They're stuck. It's kind of cutthroaty. It's fun, it's for a small little game. It's very, very fun and cutthroaty, and I really like. You can just pull it out and just play it a lot, and it's really a fun game.
I like it too. I've only played like 2 to 3 players, but I actually kind of found it a little more fun the more people you have.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you can get like 2 boxes and then
like make a big
8
super
player
epic
or
one. Hey, number 6, buddy.
My number 6 is kind of another vintage game. Only this one is a foreign game. This one is the Gunge game.
Ooh, that one. Ooh, yeah.
I
love that one.
I actually was pretty impressed with it. It's so much that I actually wanted to almost go out and make my own boards because I found it it's nice and simple.
But yeah, he was sitting there just all doodling and stuff like that ever since,
I like the little characters. They remind me of like the Bumpy in the Night. Yeah, Bumpy in the Night.
Mr. Bumpy, hey there, Squishy.
So I like the design.
Plus, it also adds a cuteness to it. So certain people, they find things cute, will enjoy because it's cute.
It's a simple game. Anyone can pick it up.
Yeah, you just go. I mean, all it is just to go around, and then you have just an elimination thing. You bump people off, and that's basically it. But it's a nice Waddington's, very cool vintage Waddington's game. Waddington's is awesome. I tried not to do too many Waddingtons on the list, if any, because I'm like, we can just do a Waddington's list on our own, but...
every Waddington games I played, I've actually quite enjoyed.
So, very nice Gunge game. I love the Gunge game. My number 6, Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. Ever since I like the Tiny Epic games, or since we played, like, that first one, I guess maybe because I won all the time. Like, no matter how many times we tried that first one we played, I always won, like, every time we played it. So it's kind of neat. Well, you like block people off. You get the wizard and get all these little things there. And I'm like, you can't get to me. Well, I'm up here just boom, 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 boom on you people. And it's like, yeah. And then there's another one that's really cool. I forgot. It was like, it's like a really small thing, like a little card box. But the dinosaur one, I like the art on the box. And I like the little dinosaur pieces, little wooden meeple pieces. And I just like the idea that you're farming dinosaurs. And then you can have certain ones stay together. And they have babies, they give you little eggs, and then you can do some of that. And then you got to keep them fenced in because they can always escape, run away, eat other stuff. And I just like the little dinosaurs that you get all have like different like effects or abilities or something like that. They can help you throughout the game. And out of all of them, so far it's been my favorite Tiny Epic, and I just had a blast playing that one. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of dinosaurs anymore, but that I like. That was a cute, fun dinosaur game for me with that one.
I actually like that game. I won't rate it as high because I lose more often than I like, but I actually do find it a nice game, and I like how, depending on what special dinosaur you get, depends on what kind of special abilities that really help you throughout the game.
It really is a nice little game. Number 5, good sir?
My number 5 is another vintage game. This one is mechanized. This one is a game I played when I was little, and I liked it so much I had to hunt it down for myself. Back off Buzzard. I wasn't lucky enough to be able to get the box, but I still thought...
Beautiful box. But hey, as long as you get the thing and it works.
Well, yeah. One of the reasons why I chose this game is not only because of the nostalgia factor, but also because when we actually whipped it out to play it, we actually had a blast. Because some people are like, "Oh,
Some
he's
people
gonna get
were.
you."
Some people were. It's one of those
No.
things where it's like, ha ha, nuts, and then they get the next person. They're like, it's like, ha, he avoided me.
It's actually quite
It
unpredictable.
actually is pretty neat when it works, and actually it is cool when you see it when it picks you up and you just hang there. It can really tick some people off. It is a fun, cute game. I really like that one. Someday we'll get that box. My number 5, another type of blackbird, crows. We've been playing that one for a couple years now, and I just can't get enough of it. It's just,
Why? Because you always win.
well, yeah, it's just you put tiles out, and then you put crow, meeple things on there, and then you have your little shiny object you place on there, and then it attracts the crows to it, and then you get so many points for your attract. But then you're constantly building more. There's certain tiles that are just plain trees where you can get little pointers, or something that has effects where you can screw someone over, or you can keep the 2 points. There's graveyards, which count as double. There's the trinkets, which automatically draws everything to it, so it'll avoid other things. There's trash that cuts them dead in their track, and they get stuck in it. It's just a fun game, and they scatter the murder of crows, and it can be annoying, it can be cutthroaty, or it can just be whatever you get, but it's always been one to play. Crows. Definitely check out Crows. We'll have to talk about Crows sometime, because that is an awesome game. It's always another one, like I was saying earlier, like Amazonas and stuff. It's a go-to. It's an easy go-to, just like Crows. You can just pick it up, you know how to play it, and it's just an awesome little game.
All right, my number 4 is Dynamite, another vintage game, as you always.
Go on.
Now, it may not necessarily be mechanized the exact same way as Forbidden Bridge or anything, but it really is just one of those things where you push down the lever and it triggers the bridge pieces flying everywhere.
It's fun. And then when other people play it and they get the reaction, it's the reactions you want to see.
That's one of the reasons why it's so high up on my list.
Although it is amazing how there's a lot of times where it's like, all right, it's going to get you eventually. Nope. It's going to get you eventually. Nope.
It actually is crazy.
It keeps getting them. It's like, boy, yeah, like you a couple times, a lot of times where it's like, boy, I finally made it here, and then it's like, I'm never going to get past this part here. It's like, yep.
I think like half the die roll is the explosion thing, but we've had it a couple times where we basically put every single piece of bridge down.
Which is crazy. It shouldn't be that way.
And then, I don't know, a lot of my stuff on my list are stuff that I actually enjoyed playing with people and brought good memories. And last time we played, it was just,
it was
just a blast.
Just great with that. So that's the kind of what's fun about them. But yes, love that one. My number 4 is also vintage. It should be right behind me. There you are. Can't see it, but you can kind of see. I'm touching the box. You can see me touching the box. Bermuda Triangle. Talk about a pain in the butt game. You're just taking your ships, you're going around from dock to dock to get precious cargo, which equals points, money, and points. There's a little storm that moves around. You got to move it throughout the board, and it's magnetized. The boats are magnetized. So we better watch out, because you hear that click. Oh, wait till you see our Adventures in Board game that's coming next year. That's in there. Among others, we're going to have fun with it. It ain't just going to be plain old board game reviews. We're going to have adventures with it. But it is a fun game. It can tick people off, especially certain people, where it's like, it hovers over. You don't hear that click, and they're like, really? And then you hear that click on them, they're like, you've got to be. It's like, oh yeah. It can be a pain in the butt. But Bermuda Triangle is easy to play, fun for everyone, and it can be, in a sense, cutthroaty, in just the sense that that storm can be a pain, and it's fun. You just got to take your chances, though, and sometimes your ships are gone.
Yeah, I thought of putting it on my list, but I'd have to play it more to move it up higher up on my list. But it really was a good game. I enjoyed it when I played it.
Bermuda Triangle. Wonderful game. It should be at the tops of everyone's. Number 3.
My number 3 is a kind of an older game, too, but not as old as some of the other ones on my list. Dragon Strike. A motorized electronic dragon. And again, another reason why I put it high on my list is because of the fun we had the last time we played it, or last few times we played it.
Oh,
the
yeah.
game just would never end.
That's why it didn't make us. We only played it just that one moment, basically. But
Yeah, but it's such a long.
But it was still just the game can drag, which I'm okay with because it's just amazing how much you can see that thing do that.
Well, yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it can get to the point where it's like, okay, can this game will ever end? But sometimes that's what makes it so funny.
I drink it. It's like, all right, we're finally gonna. You're like, all right, I don't care who wins now. Let's just end this. Nope. All right. Well, this person has the golden eggs. Nope. Well, this person does. Nope. It's like every turn. It's like, is anyone gonna win?
It gets to the point where you're just not even playing it to win anymore.
You're just like, hey, whoever gets it, we're done. But it is amazing how good that thing is, and how much of a bitch that dragon can be. But yes, that almost made it on there, but if it was just for the little play we had. But my number 3 is Ticket to Ride. That's always, that's like the new Settlers of Catan for us. Like, Settlers was like the first years ago in high school type of thing, which gets you into these type of games, and then Ticket to Ride is kind of like, yeah, we're oversharing. That's the one where it's like, friends, family, you'd mention it, and it's like, Ticket to Ride! And all sorts of versions. The regular version, we played, we just got done recently playing the Nordic version, which is awesome. I love the coloring of it. I like the underground stuff, the fairies, and how you can't use the rainbow except for those, so it's a little trickier to build. Then we also played the little New York one, and we just recently got the London one. Also very fun. They got the little 2-stack double-decker buses. And I don't know. I mean, I guess for now, I'm putting just, I guess, in general, the game series in general. But if I had to say for the one we played so far this year, I don't know. The London one was pretty fun, but then the Nordic one. So maybe that'll be the one that's just a little bit above them all. But it's just a great game. There's so many ones out there to try that we want to try. Again, the family is just like my uncle, when he visits, he gets to play games. And we played those, and then the next time we saw him, he's like, "Hey, guess what I got?" And then guess what I got again? He got Ticket to Ride. He got the New York one that we played it. Then he got so he is really like, "Come on, we're playing Ticket to Ride." It's like, yeah. He was like that with Settlers too. So it's amazing how these games can affect you. And Ticket to Ride is definitely one of those ones that are just like you can just pull it out, and you're gonna have fun no matter what. I know I win majority of the time, but either way, even if I didn't win the most of the time, it's still fun.
Yeah. And guess what my number 2 is?
Well, that was my number 3. But let's go on to number 2 then. I wonder what that is.
It's Ticket to Ride. Of course. That's why I didn't comment on the last one.
Oh my goodness.
Because you basically said it all. I like Ticket to Ride. Just like, as he said earlier, it was kind of like Settlers. Settlers got me really into gaming again. And I really got into it really hard, and
I don't think I see a Ticket to Ride anywhere to play now, but it's fine. We'll show it once we have.
Anyways, so Ticket to Ride was basically the same thing as he basically said it. Where once you start playing it, especially the more versions you play, the more addictive the game really gets. And even though it's in some ways it's the same game each time, it's also
is it really?
Well, yeah, each version's different. It's not just a different map. They also have a slightly different mechanic. And I know it's going to sound repetitive, but I also prefer the Nordic one out of the 4 versions we played so far.
Yeah, we're Nordic buddies when it comes to that one. But yes, surprising. I knew that would be on there somewhere. My number 2 was mentioned earlier as well. I just really enjoyed it this year. Again, so much fun. We got it twice. For me, I put bumper cars this high up. It's a fun game.
Well, it is definitely a fun
For
game.
a simple... I don't want to... I almost said, stupid, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a simple little game. And it was just fun. We played that a lot this year. And what I like that got me is that we'll play it, get my family, people who crab a lot that want to play board games. It's like, they enjoyed it. And it's just a simple game. And there is a lot to it, wherein it is cutthroaty too, where you could be nice, or you could be an a-hole and bump someone back when they're in their little lair, and then you're like, oh, well. And they're like, oh, I'm coming for you. It's like, good luck. And then it's like, oh, crap, I can't get into my parking place. Hey, guess what? I'm back in here now. Oh, no. Oh, they got me. Yeah, you got me. Either way, if I get bumped back again, I don't know. It's still just a fun game. I like the little colors. I like the cars. It's simple. It's a creative little game. And that's why I'm like, out of all the vintage ones, that one pretty high up because we played it a lot, and a lot of people really enjoyed it for such a simple game.
Well, yeah, I like it. I mean, I always play to win. But at the same time, I enjoy it even when I lose. It's just a fun game to play with the family.
Exactly. And then before number 1, I do have some honorable mentions. Like I said earlier, Dragon Strike almost made the list. Dynamite was a close call. Hive was also a close call. I really like Hive.
Yeah, that was an
That's a
game.
very fun little game. Onitama was originally my number 10, but it got bumped once I'm like, you know what, I'm going to move stuff around and throw in, hey, that's my fish in there. Because that is a fun freaking little game. Of course, again, do stuff. But that's my honorable mentions. Did you have any?
I didn't know we were doing honorable mentions.
I mean, if you don't have any, that's fine. We'll just
the only honorable mention I have was one that didn't make the list. Would probably be Crossfire, another classic vintage game.
That's right underneath Forbidden Bridge, which is underneath It from the Pit.
That game sometimes gets dragged a little too, but
it's craziness though. It's like that commercial. You feel like you're on fire and you're spinning.
Well, and then your hand eventually gets tired.
That's the only downside.
Or you have to scramble to grab the marbles.
Hand gets tired.
You have to scramble to get the marbles before your opponent knocks the thing into your side. It's a nice, simple game, and yet it's still fun, and I still think it holds up to this day. Definitely buy the original versus the more newer, modern version.
Plastic is, from what we're hearing, is not good. Cheap. But number 1, good sir?
This one was mentioned earlier, the Amazonas.
Oh, Amazonas has number 1.
See,
nice. That is a fun freaking little game.
Yeah, I was gonna comment, but I'm like, well, I could just save it for my section.
I was wondering why he was quiet.
I really enjoyed it. It's just a simple game, as you said before, where you have a kind of like Ticket to Ride, where you have these set destination. Well, it says Ticket to Ride, where you get multiple paths you have to go. You have to get this one path to make sure you get your points. And you don't necessarily know where your opponent's going, but sometimes it feels like it could be cutthroat. And it's just a nice, simple game, and it's about getting these little icons, not only the ones you need to get on the map, but to get enough points. And so I just find it a nice, fun game you can pick up and play at any time. And it just happened to make it to my top list because it's just that good of a game.
It is. It is. My number 1 was also mentioned earlier, and I'm surprised it was so low on his list. But out of all the games we played this year, old version and the new version, Forbidden Bridge.
It's a good one.
That game's amazing. I never knew how much... Again, it's one of those ones I had as a kid. That's why we had to get it. That's why we had to seek out and get the original. And then, like, a couple months later, again, lo and behold, in Target, there was a new nowadays version of it. It's like, bull. Wow. Hopefully that means... I mean, they're done with Fireball Island. I heard they're doing it for a Megavirus. So hopefully that means It from the Pit gets a redo, as well as Tornado Rex. But Forbidden Bridge, it's fun. Both versions. I do like the new version for how crazy shaky that bridge is. That bridge shakes fast. It's a little slower in the old, but it could be because it's old. But this one here, holy crap. It's like, and you're like, don't kill me. You know? And just overall, it's fun. It's simple. You roll the dice, and you do what the dice says. Either you move, you pick up a gem, you swap a gem, you move someone, you push down the idol, and see what happens. It's an amazingly fun game. Both versions, I love the new edition. I'm glad they do that. Keep doing that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, I've been hearing since we did that video, people are always like, they did this? I gotta go get it. And then people are now saying, guess what I got for Christmas? It's like, enjoy it. Spread it to your friends, your family, new generations that come, along with a lot of other games. But Forbidden Bridge was the game of the year for me because it's just... I was like, wow, this was... I remember it being a thing as a kid, like It from the Pit. But now it's like, I remember it being a thing, but now I'm playing it, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. It really is.
Well, I bet mine would have been higher too if I grew up with it. It would have been a great game to play as a kid. I kind of feel like I missed out by not doing that. But
I mean, even if I didn't grow up with it, it's a fun freaking game.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing game. It's simple. The family loves it too. Like, my dad is really like, that's a cute game. He's just really, like, really wants to play it again. So hopefully we'll play it again soon. But that's it. The best games, our favorite games for 2021. What will 2022 hold in store? I don't know. There's plenty of games. Maybe we'll do more of these. Everyone else likes to do, like, top 100, top 50. Maybe we'll do a vintage list or whatever. But let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We got more to come. Stay tuned for Adventures in Board Gaming. And thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Ride the big one.